Welcome to your quiet escape into the world of ancient myths. Here, the timeless stories of Greek, Norse, Egyptian, and Japanese legend unfold, tales of gods, heroes, creation, and mystery passed down through centuries. Each episode invites you to journey through old worlds and forgotten realms as the night settles in. Get comfortable and let tonight's myth guide you gently into dreams. Long, long ago, the Sahara was a secret garden, a wonderland overflowing with leafy trees that touched the sky, waterfalls that glistened like diamonds, and flowers in every color you could imagine. The weather of the Sahara was a playful friend. The temperature was sometimes a bit warm, like a baby's bath, and other times a bit cool, like a fresh slice of watermelon. But mostly it was just perfect. The breeze knew how to put on a show, strong enough to rustle leaves and toss blossoms into the air. But it never got too wild or angry. And when the sky decided it was time for a little shower, it sent down droplets as soft and gentle as a butterfly's kiss, soothing the earth in its own quiet way. But today, as you might know, the Sahara is a vast desert. Only a few spots, called oases, are left to tell the story of when it was a cool, green paradise. So how did this greenery become a scorching, silent sandbox? The ancient Greeks used to tell a story about a boy named Phaethon. He was just a boy, but was convinced he was half a god. And you know what? Maybe he was right. His hair was as bright and golden as the morning sun, and his mother always told him that this amazing hair was a super gift from his father, who was none other than the god of the sun. When he was little, Phaethon would often boast to the other Greek boys, "My father is the god of the sun, so don't mess with me." And while some of his friends were impressed, not all of them took him at his word. A boy called Epaphus, who believed that his father was Zeus, used to taunt him by saying, "You're no son of a god. You are just an ordinary wimp of a boy. I should know because my father is the king of the gods." Then Phaethon went to his mother, Clymene, and complained, "Epaphus is going around telling everyone that I'm a liar, and that my father isn't the sun god." "Well, I promise you he is the god of the sun," replied his mother. "But I need proof, mother, or else I will be too ashamed to leave the house, because everyone will think I'm boasting and telling fibs." Hearing this, his mother raised her arms towards the sky and declared, "By the radiant sun above us, that sees all and hears all, I swear to you, my dear, you are truly the sun god's child. And if my words are not true, may I never see the sunlight again." "But I need proof, mother," insisted Phaethon. And at last she said, exasperated, "Well, if you don't believe me, your own mother, then all I can suggest is that you go and ask the sun himself. You leave me with no choice. I shall have to visit the god to ask if he is my father." A couple of years went by before Phaethon kept his word. When he was old enough to travel alone, he sought the god of the sun, whom the Greeks called Apollo. So he headed east to where the sun rises in the morning. And after long travels, he came to the golden steps that lead up the palace of the sun. The climb was quite a long one. He had to go up, 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 ever upwards. He felt tired, hot and thirsty, but didn't stop. After what felt like a million steps, he finally reached the world's top. It was there that he found the sun god's palace. It was taller than the tallest lighthouse, with shiny gold and sparkling bronze columns that looked like they were on fire. Shining ivory crowned the roofs, and the doors were engraved with star signs. He quickly found his way to the grand room, where the brilliant sun god held court on his throne. The glow pouring from his father's golden crown was so intense, so dazzling, that he had to step back, raising his hand to shield his eyes from the blinding brilliance. "Is that my boy?" His father, the sun god Apollo, blinked in surprise. "What lofty dream brings you to these sun-kissed heights?" Phaethon, Apollo's child, mustered all his courage to answer. "You, the brilliant shining star of our grand world. If I truly am your son, give me some undeniable proof, something that might hush those who dub me a storyteller who only tells tall tales." When he noticed his son squinting against the radiant brilliance of his divine crown, Apollo softened the emanating rays in a show of fatherly love. "Come closer, my boy. Allow me to wrap you in a fatherly hug for the first time. And let it be known, your mother did not tell you fairy tales. I am, indeed, your father." However, Phaethon wanted more. "Father, there's one little favor I need you to grant me. Will you do it for me?" "Why, yes," said the absentee father, who felt he had neglected his son until now. "I will do anything you ask. I give you my word as a god." "Well, father, will you give me concrete proof of my parentage?" "Without this proof, the shame of being persistently labeled a fibber is too much to bear. I did promise I'd help you. However, I can," Apollo responded, with a question in the furrows of his divine forehead. "But what proof do you need?" "Allow me to steer your sun chariot, father," Phaethon proposed. "Let the whole world see me in the sky, driving your flying horses and pulling the sun across its daily course, and then everyone will, without a doubt, know that I am your son." Upon hearing this, Apollo's face filled with instant regret. 3 times he shook his radiant head. "No, no, no. I may have made a promise, but your wish is dangerous, my boy. Even Zeus, the lord of Mount Olympus, who casually tosses lightning bolts as if they were party sparklers, would think twice before handling my fiery steeds. How could you, a mortal boy, hope to undertake such a daring journey? Because, father, I am your true son," Phaethon replied, confidence resonating. "Handling chariots is our family's superpower, and horses. They're like our playmates." Apollo shook his shining head for a 4th time, no less. "Let me paint you a picture of the journey you're so eager to undertake. I'll tell you all there is to know about the sun chariot's daily trek across the sky. The initial stretch of the journey is a steep uphill climb. Even my spirited morning horses, all rested and full of energy, need to muster all their strength to ascend so swiftly. When we reach noontime, it's at the highest point of the sky, so high that even my godly heart skips a beat at the sight of the earth so far below. The final part of the journey. It's a dizzying dive downwards. The feeling of falling so fast often leaves me a god with a belly full of butterflies. I won't sugarcoat it, my boy. That The final descent is so intense that it can make the most seasoned traveler feel queasy. Father, I can handle it. I know I can. I did give you my word, and we gods. We can't go back on our promises, but I urge you to reconsider, my boy, lest I give you a gift that could be worse than your worst nightmares. But Phaethon wouldn't hear it. Instead, his heart was on fire with the idea of driving that chariot. So, with a sigh, his dad led him to the magnificent sun chariot, crafted by none other than Hephaestus, the god with some divine blacksmith skills. Phaethon just stood there, his eyes nearly popping out. The chariot was a marvel. It had a super shiny gold axle, a gleaming pole, wheels with golden edges, and circles of silver spokes. It was all decked out with sparkly jewels, and shone as bright as the sun itself. Just as Phaethon was busy checking out this crazy ride, dawn woke up in the east. She swung open her huge palace doors and spilt out a rosy light that turned the sky all kinds of pretty pinks. At the same time, the stars and moon quietly slid off to their cozy beds, ready to nap through the day. "It's go time," said Apollo. "The world is waiting for their daily sunshine. We can't be late." But even after all my scary stories, do you still want to steer the horses, my son? "I do, father." "Well, at least take this piece of advice to heart. There's no need to crack the whip. My horses, they're eager and full of energy. They'll run fast enough without any extra nudging. It's best to pull back on the reins and keep them steady," Apollo advised. "Yes, father, I shall do as you say." "Well, good luck, my son." The boy climbed up into the chariot and thanked his unwilling father. Meanwhile, the sun's spirited horses huffed and puffed, filling the air with their fiery breath. They kicked at the bars of the chariot with their powerful hooves. They could tell, too, that the boy in their chariot was a lot lighter than the god they were used to. So when they set off, the chariot sprang into the air and zipped upward as if it weighed nothing at all. Phaethon was in over his head. He couldn't handle the reins, and he was going so fast he couldn't even see where he was going. The wind screamed in his ears, and he felt both a burning heat and a cold at the same time. Poor Phaethon, when he dared to look down from the sky at the earthway way below. He turned a queasy shade of green, and his knees wobbled with fear. Oh, why hadn't he listened to his dad's advice? But it was too late to change his mind now. He was dizzy and didn't know what to do next. As if things weren't bad enough, he saw monstrous shapes appearing in the glowing sky. He spotted the place where the Scorpio constellation flexes its pincer-like arms. When he saw the massive scorpion, its body dripping with inky venom, threatening him with its raised sting, he lost his nerve and let go of the reins. As the horses veered off course, they raced through unknown sky realms. Instead of descending, they soared even higher, defying gravity's pull. The moon gazed in astonishment as they circled her, then dived back towards the earth, engulfed in flames. The chariot exploded into a blazing inferno when they crashed upon the ground. Meadows turned ashen white, trees became consumed by the relentless fire, and cornfields ignited into roaring flames. Mount Athos was set ablaze, and the volcanic peak of Mount Etna spewed forth flames twice as high as usual. Even the chilly Scythian snow melted under the intense heat. All of this was dreadful enough, but the once lush and verdant land where the chariot touched down was reduced to golden sands. Apollo, heartbroken and filled with sorrow, concealed his face, and an entire day passed without the sun's radiant presence. As the light returned to earth, the fires finally ceased their burning. The people and gods looked upon the charred aftermath, their hearts heavy with sorrow. They could hardly recognize the land called the Sahara, where the chariot had landed. No longer did gentle breezes whisper through leafy branches, nor did sparkling rivers meander through lush valleys. Instead, endless stretches of golden sand replaced the delightful fragrances of blooming flowers. From that moment on, the Sahara Desert became a living lesson etched on the earth's surface. The ancient Greeks saw it as a reminder of important things, like being humble, not getting too full of yourself, and never pretending to be a god. They even had a word for it: hubris. They believed that whenever someone had too much pride and thought they were above everyone else, something bad called nemesis would happen and bring them down. And so the story of Phaethon and the sun chariot will forever be told, serving as a lesson for future generations. May it remind us to be careful, listen to wise advice, and cherish our world's delicate balance.